What we witnessed today was an epic knock from Glenn Maxwell. Amazing innings you can ever see on a cricket field. Amazing performance from Glenn Maxwell. He was injured. He was standing on one leg and he was simply outstanding. Took the game away from Afghanistan and made their hopes of making the semi-final a little difficult now. But Glenn Maxwell, well, it cannot be described in words what an epic knock it was. Australia were all in dire straits with 91 for 7, and Glenn Maxwell hobbling on one feet. He was dropped once by Mujibur Rahman, and it was an irony that he hit Mujibur Rahman for the winning runs in the last 3 overs he hit. And simply magical innings from Glenn Maxwell, ably supported by Pat Cummins, who knew his role and played out a very composed innings, and ably supported Glenn Maxwell. But what it is simply outstanding. It's a remarkable bravery for a man who decided not to give up, even if he was hobbling on one foot. And he was almost going to retire hurt, but he didn't give up. He continued on and played an absolute blinder. This is something unbelievable. Hard luck for Afghanistan boys. They were up against a warrior, a magnificent innings. And although it was all Afghanistan until the last hour or so, because they won the toss, they decided to have a bat, and they batted very sensibly. Ibrahim Zadran, the star of the tournament, for Afghanistan, making Afghanistan's first century of this tournament, making a superb 129. In fact, the first century of the World Cup for becoming first Afghan to score a century in the World Cup. Ibrahim Zadran making a magnificent 129, carried his bat along, and he was simply sensational. Played a superb innings, and a cameo from Rashid Khan at the end got Afghanistan a 291, which looked a very good score when they had Australia reeling at 91 for 7. But it was not for, if not for Glenn Maxwell, it could have been an epic, historic victory for Afghanistan. But it was not to be, because Glenn Maxwell was in his elements. He was dropped. Remember, he was dropped. He was given a chance by Mujibur Rahman, who dropped him. And that made them pay, and Afghanistan didn't know where to bowl to this fantastic batsman. He had reverse sixes, he had sixes that were not even close to the fielder, and it was simply unbelievable. And Australia have now qualified for the semi-finals, and it could have been difficult for Australia had it not been Maxwell's day, but it was simply astonishing. Australia, the way they started the tournament, after losing two games to India and South Africa, they have not looked back, and they have gained from strength to strength, and have now are serious contenders for to get their sixth title, unless and until they get one over India, who are simply looking outstanding. So the man at the moment is Glenn Maxwell, who also made the fastest century in the World Cup earlier, and take nothing away from this man. He is known to break the back of the bowlers, and he broke the Afghan spirits, who I think didn't bowl that bad up until the last hour or so, when Maxwell was in his full stride. And this full credit must go to their seamers. Naveenul Haq bowled his heart out, so did Azmatul Umarzai, and but the spinners to me were a little disappointing. Rashid Khan tried his best, but he couldn't nail the last few wickets. Mujibur Rahman was a disappointment. Noor Ahmed did a tidy job, but unsurprisingly Mohammad Nabi didn't get much of bowling out, only 2 overs, and he was hammered. But I think with his experience, he might have been given some more overs. But full credit to Glenn Maxwell. Well, how much we can say about him? He's a gem of a player, a gem of an innings, and this will go down in history as one of the greatest knocks ever, simply. It's a double hundred in the chase, which has not happened before in any encounter. The last time I think the last innings that was played was by Fakhar Zaman, who scored 194 against South Africa in a chase, and he was run out unfortunately. And he could have almost been a double, but when he was also chasing, so this is the highest score in the chase as well, and you could determine how great it was. The second fastest double century made in one international, and this changes the landscape of one-day international cricket, and how the great were those shots all around the wicket, not one shot, not one false shot, and it was a few in early innings, but Glenn Maxwell rode his luck and got stitched together a wonderful partnership with the captain Pat Cummins, who ably supported him. So Australia have once again qualified for another semi-final. It's just 2 World Cups have gone where they haven't. In fact, 3 World Cups they have not qualified for the semi-finals, and this is yet another step towards another world title maybe. But now the race is open. Afghanistan can still mathematically qualify if they can beat South Africa by a big margin. But now if Pakistan and New Zealand will fancy their chances now, New Zealand have a game against Sri Lanka, and if they beat them, then Pakistan will have all in their hands how the run rate, and they will have to determine by what kind of a run rate they will have to maintain against England. Otherwise, if Sri Lanka manage to beat New Zealand, and Pakistan will have to just beat England, but for that to happen, we'll have to see what happens in those games. So it's hard. So let's see. Tomorrow it's England versus Netherlands, and it will be for England. It will be an opportunity to get at least their second win in this tournament, which has been one to forget for them. While Netherlands would like to prove a point to the European neighbours, and will look to replicate some memories of 2007 T20 World Cup, 2009 T20 World Cup, and look to get one over England. If they do that, that would be amazing. So let's see if that happens or not. But let's savor Glenn Maxwell's fantastic innings again. Salute to Glenn Maxwell. He was absolutely brilliant today, and we just cannot. If you didn't see this knock, well, you missed out on something incredible, and simply unbelievable. Can't just phantom. It's one of the best knocks ever you can see in the cricket history. Best of luck, Team Australia. Hard luck, Afghanistan. You cannot. You don't bow your head down because you tried all your best, and but it was simply a heist, you can say, from Glenn Maxwell that took the glory away from you. Best of luck. Better luck next time.